Good, go.
$3. All right, let me get like Pepsi free
I got Pepsi
zero.
Zero.
Yeah. Let me go get you another dollar. Be right back.
As a reminder, we have cold sodas, record tracks, and peanuts, as well as Disco Turkey's merchandise on sale at the concession stand. And don't forget the food truck, Great Barbecue, located just outside the gate by the ticket booth.
Oh, welcome back here for another Carolina Disco Turkey game. This one's in your postseason, a little bit of a different postseason, if you will. This is going to be a round-robin tournament between your Disco Turkeys, the Catawba Valley Stars, which we're seeing here tonight, the Marion Hungry Mothers, and then the Uwharrie Wampus Cats. There's been one game prior today that started at 2:30, a 7-inning game between the Wampus Cats and Hungry Mothers. This game set for 6:30, starting just a tad late, as the first pitch misses outside from Helms. Top three lineup here for the Stars. It's going to be Hartley, O'Brien, and Sloan. This one's going to be grounded over the short. Morgan right there at it. Has one play. Fires it over Miller in plenty of time for out number one. This will bring up O'Brien, making his first at bat here in this postseason. Helm so far looking good. He's on 2 pitches, able to get 1 out. Defensive alignment tonight for this first game for your Disco Turkeys in the postseason is going to be Norisa over in the left, Palmer in center. This is chop foul down the third base side. Able to get ahead in the count 0-1.
Hey, is that ice? You got ice in that machine over there?
Yeah. What's mine? Fill it up.
Yes, please.
When it runs out, bring it back. I'll fill it up again.
Henfield
single to Horn will bring up the 3-hole of Sloan. Horn diving out to his left. He's got
At bat, the catcher, number 20, Keelan Sloan.
Okay, I got you. Once again, the lineup here, or the outfield positioning, if you will. Norrie said in the left, Palmer in center, Gilming's going to be over in the right. Around the infield's Horn, Morgan, Hall, and Miller. Miller holding on O'Brien, who just had an infield single, if you will. As the count now falls 2-0 to the 3-hole of Sloan. Tate waits on tick, followed by McCormick. The first three up for the Turkeys will be Hudson, Morgan, the shortstop, Hall, and Palmer. This is grounded right back over to third. Horn with a redemption play over the second to Hall. He'll end up eating it, but getting the force out at second for the second out of the inning. Yeah.
Now batting the center fielder, number 10, Jordan Tate.
The fielder's choice from Sloan brings up Tate. Runner still on first now with 2 outs. Sloan, the runner at first, once again being held on by Miller. This is popped up right field side, giving chase Gilming a long run at the foul line, able to make the grab, and that will do it through the top of the first. Giving up 1 hit, but score still remains all knotted up at 0.
Catawba Valley.
Coming back here to the home half of the first, Disco Turkeys in a little bit of a different setting here. Here at Mando Field, once again not over at the Couch, as the Couch season has come to a close here in this round robin season of play. Your Disco Turkeys, you got the Stars, Wampus Cats, and the Marion Hungry Mothers. As for the two remaining games for the Hungry Mothers, it's just going to be the camera with no audio for those. First pitch called a strike here to Hudson Morgan. On him going Morgan, Hall, Palmer, and Miller, the top four. Hannah, the one on the mound for the Stars. The 0-1 offering catches the outside corner, and just like that, Morgan's down to his last strike. This field a little bit shorter, or a lot a bit shorter if you will, compared to the Couch. Right at 300 down the left field line. Got a little bit of a taller fence in left compared to left center and the rest. Swing and a miss there, sets down Morgan. That went down on 3 pitches, and this will bring up Andrew Hall.
Next up, second baseman, number 14.
So far, there's only been one game here in the postseason thus far. That was back at 2:30 this afternoon between the Marion Hungry Mothers and the Uwharrie Wampus Cats, a 4-1 final in favor of Uwharrie. It was a 1-1 game going into the 6th inning before 2 home runs came up for the Wampus Cats. Both of those home runs were near the bottom of the lineup as well, right around the 7-8 hole. Starting off here, 1-0 to Hall, 1 out, nobody on. Hannah fires it in, grounded over the second. Mendex underneath of it. Has to hurry, fires it over to Newkirk. Out number 2 of the inning. So far, Hannah's looked strong. So far, 1 ball put in play has made the defense have to work so far here in the first inning. Nothing put in play into the outfield yet.
Fielder number 16, Elijah Palmer.
This will bring up Palmer. Another right-handed at bat here for the Turkeys. Hannah, right-handed thrower, working from the windup here, nobody on. Off-speed pitch catches the outside corner, 0-1. Miller on deck showing that was indeed a curveball. The 0-1 offering here, foul tip, and that comes straight back here into the fencing. One of the big differences between Mando Field and the Couch. At the Couch, they're at the backstop. For one, it's a lot further of a place to travel for the backstop. Secondly, a large majority of it is netting, with a small portion at the bottom being brick. Here at Mando, it's fencing 3/4 of the way up with a slack net at the top. A ball and 2 strikes here to Palmer. Last strike here of the first. This will be chopped back to the man on the mound, Hannah. He'll underflip it to Newkirk. And that will do it here for your first inning. Quick 1, 2, 3 from both sides. Will take us to the second. 0s going into 2.
There are still left.
Coming back up here, top of the second inning, 4 batters came up through the first half. A ground out to short, singling over to third, having an infield single, followed by a fielder's choice and a flyout. As how the first came to a close. McCormick set to start things off here in the second. Check swing, called a strike regardless, 0-1. Holmes only giving up 1 hit through the first inning. That was an infield single to Peyton Horn at third. Catches the outside corner, and just like that, it's 0-2. Waiting on deck, here's going to be Gregory and Newkirk. Outside from Helms, puts him down in the count 1-2. Not much here of a bullpen at Mando Field. As you can see, one of the Disco Turkeys' bullpen pieces throwing a form of a ball up against a chain link fence out of play. Swing and a miss there leads to the first strikeout here in the second inning.
Next up,
This will bring up Gregory. Gregory working from the left side against a right-handed throwing Helms. First pitch here, chopped over the second on the backhand haul. Hitting plenty of time over the Miller. 2 up, 2 down here in the second inning. Second ball put in play involving the second baseman, the last one being the fielder's choice. That was from Horn to Hall. So far, 4 balls put on the ground. The infield single, 2 groundouts, and the fielder's choice. There's been 1 ball put in the air. That was a flyout from Tate that ended the first inning. Swing and miss over the slider, 0-1. A decent amount of wind back in game number 1. The wind has calmed down as along with the temperature. Under bright sunlight and plenty of heat through game number 1, where temperatures reached right about 93. Feel like being anywhere from 95 to 96. Up and in, 2-0. Well, 2-1, that is. Apologies. Newkirk, Garcia, and then Mendaic. Last 3 up here in the lineup for the Stars. Swing and a miss there, 2-2. The Disco Turkeys have played this team once before, that coming 2 seasons ago. That being a neutral site game. Outside, 3-2, first full count here goes to Newkirk. Helms have yet to walk anybody so far tonight. Has given up 1 base runner. Once again, that's a single to O'Brien. Down and out, ball 4. That gets away from Dahl. What matter here is it will only hold him to 90 feet. This will bring up the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hole of Garcia. Apologies here. Some teams batting 9, some teams batting 10. As it appears there was a bug or a bee on the back of Garcia's jersey as his home plate umpire worked it off the back of him. Second inning in a row where the Turkeys have let 1 base runner. This inning a walk back in the first, an infield single. Holmes from the stretch, first pitch right down the heart of the plate, 0-1. So far only 1 hit tonight through both squads, and it's coming from the Stars. A 1-out single in the first. The 0-1 here down the heart of the plate once again, 0-2. Holmes have only thrown 1 strikeout thus far, and that was to the leadoff man of the second, to McCormick. Fires it in, just missing outside. Count evens 2 apiece. Once again here for the games involving the Hungry Mothers here in the postseason, we will have a broadcast and a live stream, just no live play-by-play. Swing and a miss there, ends the inning. Second strikeout of the inning from Garcia.
1 left on base.
To the home half of the second we go. Turkeys trying to find some momentum, getting 2 quick innings here against the Stars. Zeros going bottom 2. Coming back here, bottom half of the second inning, the Turkeys are looking to get some momentum going as we're only playing a 7-inning game here tonight. The 1-0 misses upstairs once again from Henna that is. Letting things off, here's Miller once again ahead in the count 2-0. Thought about chasing after that one. Gonna ask the infield umpire, says not. 3-0 count to the leadoff man. Once again, that's Miller. On deck's gonna be Dakota Dahl, followed by Welch. Shot over the short, Hartley. Able to field it cleanly in plenty of time over to Newkirk. Out number 1 of the inning. And a huge hitters count, 3-0. Especially here with the Disco Turkey lineup, you're gonna have that green light. But it's got to be a pitch you can do damage with, and a ground out to short is not something that Miller is wanting.
Next up, the catcher, number 15, Dakota Dahl.
3 straight ground outs from the Turkeys. Morgan let things off with a strikeout. Hall grounded out, Palmer, and now Miller's grounded out as well. Dakota Dahl trying to break that streak here. First pitch called a strike 0-1. The infield here, Garcia, Hartley, Mendake, and Newkirk. That's going from third to first. Just missing the outside corner, 1-1. One here, swung on a miss. Once again, a short porch over and left. The Turkeys trying to take advantage of it. They've played 2 regular season home games here at Mando Field. Unfortunately for them, they got shut out both nights. That was on a Friday and Saturday. Body cut there, another strikeout. This is the second strikeout for Henna and second out of the inning to go along with it. This will bring up Welch, trying to avoid back-to-back 1-2-3 innings.
Next up at the age, number 11, Brock Welch.
I didn't know if I wrote it down right. Pitch catches the top half of the zone to Welch. Hannah. Okay. Hannah fires it in, 0-1. If Welch is able to reach man on deck, that's going to be Horn. Going to be 2 more up after him. It's going to be Gilming and Norisa. That's going to be the lineup for your Turkeys before going back over to the top half. Check swing. Little pop up over in the right field. McCormick's underneath of it. Tried to do a little bit of a bloop single, but McCormick was able to race underneath of it and field it cleanly. That's the first non-ground out or strikeout. But unfortunately, once again, another 1-2-3 inning. This will take us to the top half of the third inning. Nearly halfway through this one already. 0 still on the scoreboard.
Jackson Mendiak.
Coming back here, top half of the third inning. Set to lead things off is Amendia. This is going to be your 9-hole before we get set to go back up to the top of Hartley, O'Brien, and Sloan. There's been 2 base runners here against Helms so far. A infield single to O'Brien and a 4-pitch walk to Newkirk. This pitch just misses outside from Helms. 1-0 the count. Horn so far, the only one with a little bit of dirt on him, as this one's going to be hit right over the third. Horn on the backhand has to hurry in time over to Miller. 1 up, 1 down here in the third inning. That's a third ball hit over to Horn at third. O'Brien reached on an infield single. Sloan
Number 15,
was involved in a fielder's choice involving Horn, and then here to Mendaic, grounding out to Horn as well. Back up to the top of the lineup, I do believe. So far he's 0 for 1. He grounded out to Morgan to lead things off. Starting off the count 0-1. Fouled down the third base side once again. That one's going to get out of play, as Holmes is looking to pick up his 3rd strikeout of the afternoon. He has 2 so far, both of those coming in the second inning. The first out and the third out of the inning, that going to McCormick and Garcia. Count evens 1-1. Firing it in, shot. This one's going to go right back to Morgan, but not able to make the play. Not as Morgan would tee it up, if you will. An infield error will now put a runner on. 3rd inning in a row where there's been a base runner against Helms.
The batter's a DH, number 2, Blake O'Brien.
This will bring up O'Brien. He singled to Horn back in the first inning. So far, we're in the second batter through the second time in the lineup. Hartley grounded out to short in the first and reached on an air to short in the third. Hopefully O'Brien on the opposite side will ground out to O'Brien at third. Runner takes off for second, fouled straight back. So we'll have to redo it. Hartley trying to steal second off of Helms. That's the first stolen base attempt we've seen so far tonight. The 3rd base runner for the Stars as well. O'Brien's 1 for 1 so far. So far, the only hit of either side in the 3rd inning. The Turkeys have gone 1-2-3 both times in the first and second inning. Foul tip straight back, 0-2. Miller holding on the runner. As for Hartley, he's tried to steal second once so far in this at bat. Wouldn't surprise me if you see it here again. Helms will fire to the plate. Fastball right down the heart of the zone. Called strike 3. That will be the 3rd strikeout of the afternoon here from Helms. And this will bring up Sloan, who's 0 for 1, but has reached base. That was on a fielder's choice. As for Helms, looking to have this the last out of the inning. Or last batter face, that is. Decent sized lead over at first from Hartley. Gonna stay put, nearly back pick from Dakota Dahl behind the plate. Instead he'll eat it. A ball and no strikes here to the 3-hole of Sloan. 1-0, runner takes off, grounded over the short at Morgan. Firing it over the first to Miller in time as Miller's able to get his redemption play. Another quick inning here from the Turkeys, leaving 1 base runner stranded. 0 is going to the bottom of the 3rd. Coming back here, home half of the third inning. The Turkeys have been shut down in order here through the first two innings, that is. Trying to change that here is Horn, Gilming, and Norisa. On the mound, still Hannah. Popped up straight back, going to be a tough play. Hannah giving it a chase. As that'll come right back here behind us as it'll hit the roof. 0-1. 1-1, that is. Newkirk at first, Mendake at second, Hartley at short, Garcia is your third baseman. Once again, only one ball has been put into the air, and that was a fly out to right. A little bit of a check swing that ended up not being exactly what Welch had called up for, but it's what happened as we're still scoreless here in the third inning. A ball and 2 strikes here to Horn. Fires it in, misses outside, 2-2 the count. Horn the only one to have dirt on his jersey as of now. And that was a diving effort back in the first inning to try and retire O'Brien, who ended up reaching on an infield single. Strikeout here, out number 1 of the inning. Third strikeout here from him against the Disco Turkeys. That's a bring up Gilming. So far, Hannah's been perfect, not trying to cause a jinx here or anything, but the Turkeys need a base runner. First pitch here, upstairs, ball 1 to Gilming. From the windup, outside 2-0, that's going to end up coming back to the backstop. There's a little bit of padding at the very bottom of the backstop here at Mando. Balls occasionally do get stuck in between them, and sometimes they'll sneak up underneath of them, which has been seen a handful of times during the American Legion season. Pitch catches the outside corner, 2-1. Here in the bottom half of the third inning, still a scoreless game. A little bit of a pitcher's duel between both sides, between Hannah and Helms. Line right back up the middle, nearly got a piece of Hannah, but that's going to be the first base hit of the afternoon for the Turkeys. That breaks up the no-hitter and the perfect game as well. A single right back up the middle. This will bring up Norisa. Left-handed hitter here for the Turkeys. And it'll go right back up to the top. Morgan, Hall, and Palmer.
Norisa.
Outfield is Gregory, Tate, and McCormick. That's going from the left to right. Pitch catches the outside corner, 0-1. So far, one base runner here from the Turkeys. We'll see if he tries to steal a second. That's Gilming over at first. He'll stay put here as off-speed catches the heart of the plate, 0-2. This is a chance to try and do some damage if you're Issa. Not wanting to take it to 2 outs. We're at the top. Where Hudson Morgan so far 0 for 1. Grounded over the short. This is definitely not the thing you wanted. 6-4-3. That's going to get away from Newkirk. As Issa will go right back into the first base bag. That was a tailor-made double play. Hartley to Mendake to Newkirk. Luckily for us, Mendake not able to fire it cleanly over to Newkirk, as he had to rush it with a hustling Issa down the first base line. Back to the top of the lineup we go. It's going to be Hudson Morgan. So far, only there's 2 outs here in the inning thus far. Strikeout to Horn and the fielder's choice to Issa. That put Gilming out. Pop up straight back here behind the home plate, 0-1. One hit aside, and there's been 1 error committed from the Turkeys. That being over the Hudson Morgan at short. Hannah working from the stretch, fires it home. That pitch misses outside. 1-1. First time the Disco Turkeys have played the Star so far all in the season. The Disco Turkeys trying to make a statement here, as this will be the one and only time they play each other this season as well. They once again played each other 2 seasons ago. I was at a neutral site game, and I believe North Wilkesboro. 2 balls and a strike. That game ended up being a little bit heated as the Turkeys threw up and in on one of the Stars players, ended up clipping them in a helmet, chirping back and forth, led to a little bit of an altercation. Nothing ended up coming away from it. And then there was a problem with the lights. I was supposed to go in as a relieving pitcher, but the lights wouldn't turn on and ended up calling the game short and left me stranded. I was all hot and ready to go in. Though the lights didn't have it in my favor for that afternoon. 3-2 now the count here. Bottom half of the third. Runner on first. He will be going. That's going to be Norisa. Indeed, so goes. Grounded right back up the middle. A single just like Gilman did 2 batters ago. Trying to go first to third is Isa. He will. Running in on its Tate, and he'll underhand flip it to the second baseman of Mendaic. Runners first and third, 2 outs as the Turkeys now have 2 hits here in the inning. This will bring up Andrew Hall. He's grounded out to Mendaic so far tonight, so he's 0 for 1. This is a chance to break that and bring home 1 and break the scoreless tie. They have a pitching mound visit, so we'll take a quick timeout here. 0 on the scoreboard here in the bottom half of the third inning. Coming back here, bottom half of the third inning, still 0 up on the scoreboard, but the Turkeys have a runner 90 feet away. Outside, Sloan able to keep it in front of him. Hannah still on the mound after the pitching visit. 2 hits so far in the inning. That goes to Morgan and Gilming, the leadoff man and the 8-hole. Gilming ended up being put out on the fielder's choice, so it's northeast of the runner over at third. As that's lined into left field, and 1 run comes across on the RBI single from Hall. Runners will advance 90 feet, first and second from the 2-out base hitting from Andrew Hall. This will bring up a Palmer. First and second staying put. Pitch catches the outside corner, 0-1. Big hole between Hartley and Garcia, the shortstop third baseman combo. And that's exactly where Andrew Hall decided to put it, right there in front of the left field of Gregory. Able to get it in quickly, keeping runners only advancing 90 feet. But 1 run does come across with the Turkeys taking a 1-0 lead. 1-1 to count here to Palmer. He's 0 for 1. He grounded out to the man on the mound. He was a 3rd out in the top half of the first. 5th batter here in the inning thus far, trying to keep the baton going. Body cut there, 1-2. Miller on deck, followed by Dakota Dahl. Bullpen looks like it's slowly starting to get warm here for the Turkeys. Gonna try and let you know exactly who's down there in just a matter of minutes. Outside, Sloan once again keeping in front of him, trying to backpick over the second. Tag applied just late from Mendaic. It seemed that Morgan just about got backpicked over at second from Sloan. Morgan went back in standing up instead of going back in head first. So we'll see what comes away with it here. Next couple of pitches. 2-2's fouled off will stay alive as we're possibly down to the last strike of the inning. Once again, this game's only going to go 7. Game number 1, that was between the Hungry Mothers and the Uwharrie Wampus Cats. 4-1 final. That was in favor of Uwharrie. It was tied at 1 apiece going into the 6th inning. Look like we're going to have another pitcher's duel here in game number 2. And another full count. Count falls to 3-2. First and second runners will be going. It's Morgan and Hall. Morgan at second. Hall is your runner over at first. Middle infield kind of pulling back. Nobody holding on. That being Hartley and Mendaic. From the stretch is working Hannah. Fires it in. Runners go. Pitch catches the inside corner. Look just a little bit upstairs. Regardless, home plate umpire rings them up. 4th strikeout on the night here for Hannah, and that's what will take us through the top half of inning number 4. Change the inning. Coming back here, top half of the 4th inning, 1-0 in favor of the Disco Turkeys. That's the one and only run the Disco Turkeys have scored here at Mando Field as well. There's been 2 home games for the Turkeys here at Mando. They ended up being shut out both games. I know one of the final scores, that was 5-0. I believe that one was over the Troutman Dogs. Down and out, 1-1 the count. That's going to be up against Tate. He's 0 for 1 so far. He's flown out to Gilming. That's the right fielder here for the Turkeys, and this one shot right at the shortstop of Morgan, able to bring it in. 1 up, 1 down here in the 4th.
Now batting right fielder.
Morgan's been involved in quite a bit so far here tonight. A ground out to start things off. He's had an error to the same man. That was a Hartley. Sloan's grounded out to short, and now that little bit of a fly out from Tate. He's been involved in 4 different plays over at short. And then, as I was mentioning last inning, Horn's been involved over at third just about as many times. A ball and a strike here. 1 out in top half of the 4th. Helms fires in, popped up left field side. Horn giving it a right infield ground, calling for it. Has room, able to make the grab. And another play here from Horn.
Next up, left fielder number 11, Brad Gregory.
This will bring up Gregory. He's 0 for 1, grounding out to Hall. So far, there's been 1 hit here for the Stars. That was to the 2-hole of O'Brien. That was an infield single. Almost a little bit of a mental error, but not counting as an error. Horn with a chance to get another one as that was fouled just about the same spot. This one will drop down and foul ground. A long strike, but a strike nonetheless, 0-1. Shot, shallow center field. Palmer coming in on it. Shortstop of Morgan calling for it. Able to make the grab in medium center field. Another play there for Morgan. 3 up, 3 down takes us to the home half of the fourth. Turkeys up 1-0. A quick game here at Mando Field. Coming back here, bottom half of the fourth, Turkey scored 1 in the third. That was on an RBI single from Andrew Hall. That was a 2-hole. Set to lead things off here in this half inning. That's going to be should be Miller, I do believe. Miller batting. The 0-1 down and out. Now a ball and a strike. Fires it in, up and out, 2-1-2. Once again, I believe it's Miller. As for Hannah, he's had a solid outing so far. He's given up 1 run on 3 hits. Curveball or slider. Bounces Miller out of the box, just missing the inside corner. It looked good from here. But that bouncing out must have sold it to the home plate umpire. Now 3-1. Up and in, draws a 5-pitch walk here to Miller. That's a leadoff base runner here for the Turkeys. Leadoff walks never tend to come out well for the opposing side. Hannah coming all the way down to home plate to top things over with Sloan. Not really sure what that was all about, but we have a runner on first, nobody out. A leadoff walk for Miller, and Dakota Dahl now up to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He struck out back in his last out, back in the second inning, that is. Apologies. 1 run scored so far from the Turkeys, and that's the only run scored here at Mando Field on the season in their 3rd game. There will be 2 more games played here at Mando Field, and that's going to be on Friday, August 1st against the Wampus Cats, and then Saturday, August 2nd against the Hungry Mothers. The game on Saturday, August 2nd will have a broadcast as that singled into left field in front of Gregory. That coming off the bat of Dakota Dahl, improving his night to 1 for 2. This will bring up a Welch 0 for 1 as well. He was the first one to put a ball in the air. That was to the right side on a check swing to McCormick. The game on Saturday, August 2nd. That'll be here on YouTube as well, but will not have a live play-by-play guy,
Rockwell.
as I will be substituting in for the Hungry Mothers. First pitch misses upstairs, 1-0. The 1-0 down and out, gets away from Sloan. Both runners advancing 90 feet. That being Miller to third, Dahl up to second. As now here's a chance for the Disco Turkeys to break it open. They've been in a situation here before at Mando Field with the runners in scoring position with less than 2 outs, and they haven't been able to poke one home. Well, now it's their chance for Welch. Outside 2-0. Wild pitch advanced them to second and third, and now a wild pitch has a chance to score one more. Garcia, Hartley, Mendake, and Newkirk all playing in on the grass. The 3-0, Hardy cut, but it ends up swinging and missing. 3 balls and a strike. Needing to find a way to put a ball in play, and negating a double play would be huge. 3-1 down and out, 3-2. The 3-2 offering, swing and a miss. First out of the inning comes by a strikeout. That's the third batter of the inning of Welch. This is going to bring up of Horn. He's 0 for 1 so far. Struck out to start the third inning.
Third baseman number 2, Peyton Horn.
1 of 5 strikeout victims so far. Quite a lot of strikeouts here for the Disco Turkeys through just 3 and a third innings of work, that is. Grounded over the short, Hartley coming home with it to Sloan. Tag plays in time. Second out of the inning. And now it's going to take a base hit here for Gilman in order to score the second Disco Turkey run. This is going to bring up Gilman. He's 1 for 1 so far. One of the better hitters to have up to the plate. Still a big hole here between Hartley and Garcia in the left. First pitch called a strike here, 0-1. Horn up to first. Dakota Dahl is the one throwing it at home. Welch standing on third base. The 0-1 offering here chopped over the short. Hartley going to have to hurry. Able to fire it over to Newkirk in plenty of time as Gilman gets put out on a ground out. To the top of the fifth we go. Turkey is up 1-0.
Catawba Valley. First baseman, number 16, Seth Newkirk.
Coming back here, top of the 5th inning, Turkeys hold a 1-0 lead here in their first game of the postseason. A little bit of bragging rights between 4 teams. The Disco Turkeys, the Catawba Valley Stars, the Uwharrie Wampus Cats, and the Marion Hungry Mothers. Uwharrie so far has a 1-0 lead over any of the teams here in this playoff so far. Your Disco Turkeys playing here in game number 2. A ball, no strikes here from Mahomes and Newkirk. Downstairs 2-0. So far there's been one base runner an inning here against from Helms. The leadoff, the infield single to O'Brien, the walk to Newkirk, and the Hartley reaching on air so far through 3 innings of work. In the 4th inning, apologies, went 3 up, 3 down. 3 flyouts, 2 to Morgan and 1 to Horn. The 2-1 here misses outside. Now 3 balls and a strike at Mando. Helms and Newkirk set to lead things off here in the inning. It's going to go Newkirk, Garcia, and Mendaic. Second time through the batting lineup. The best somebody's been so far tonight's 1 for 2. Curveball over the heart of the plate, brings it full. Payoff pitch up coming here to the 7-hole of Newkirk. Newkirk playing the first baseman. So far he's walked. So far tonight sitting 0 for 0. Fires it in, shot left field. Norisa just going to let it go into the trees in left center. This one will tie it up 1 apiece. A solo home run here from Newkirk ties this one up at 1.
Next up, third baseman, number 24, Alexis Garcia.
This will bring up Garcia after the solo home run, only the second hit here for the Stars. As his game's now tied up 1 apiece. First pitch catches the outside corner, 0-1 to Garcia. So far he's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Not many strikeouts here from Helms against the Stars, but the ones that have mattered. That's flown out to right. Gilman giving it a chase. That's going to go over his head and 1-hop the outfield wall. Coming into second, Morgan not able to apply a tag. After a solo shot from Newkirk, Garcia follows it up with a double to right. A backside double. And this will bring up Mendaic, the 9-hole. The 7-8 holes have looked strong so far tonight here from the Stars. Mendaic grounded out to Hornbeck in his first at bat. So far from Helms, he's only allowed at most 1 base runner an inning until this inning. That being the home run, now a double. Working from the stretch. Pitch gets a piece of the home plate umpire, so we'll have a little bit of a timeout here. It appeared that Garcia was trying to delay steal third. Home plate umpire appears to be okay as Dahl calls for Miller to play in on the infield grass. Nearly expecting a bunt here with a count 0-1. Indeed, so it looks like he's going to lay down a bunt. That pitch misses up and in. Now a ball and a strike. And yes, the Disco Turkey bullpen slowly starting to get warm here. I believe their first reliever is expected to be back. 1-1, another bunt attempt. This is pushed down the first base side. That's going to go foul. Count falls to 1-2. Now a foul bunt will result in an out. So that option is, I would believe, off the table. As it's going to take Mendaic a base hit in order to do anything worthwhile here for the Stars. Negating a hit by pitch. Murphy's able to draw the count out to a walk. Grounded over the second on the backhand. Hall has one play over the first in time, trying. The thing about picking over the horn at third. Instead, Miller will hold on to it, as Garcia will just await on third and not take a step further. This will take us to the top one out of Hartley. He's 0 for 2, though has reached on an error. That was a Morgan at short, and I could only... Lined right back up the middle, caught by Helms. A loud out, but a out nonetheless. I was of a little bit of a timeout here just to check and see if Helms is okay. Woo! Coach coming out for the Turkeys as well, as that may have got a piece of Helms, and I think it did. But Helms was indeed able to catch that. What a spectacular catch. We'll take a quick timeout here, top of the fifth. 1-1 is your score. Coming back here, top of the fifth, it appears that Holmes is doing okay after being hit on the line drive, but able to make the play, second out of the inning. Not able to hold a swing there is the 2-hole of O'Brien. 0-1. Down and out, Dahl able to keep it in front of him. Retreating back into third is Garcia. Big at bat here from the Stars and the Turkeys. Swing and a miss down to the last strike. Helms still firing in hard here after being hit on the line drive. 1 run on 3 hits from the Stars, 1 run on 4 hits here for the Turkeys. Swing and a miss. That gets away from Dahl. Dahl's going to have to hurry, firing it down to Miller. Throw gets off the line, although goes down on the record books as a strikeout. 1 run comes across, and this inning will continue. 2-1 in favor of the Stars.
At bat to catcher number 20, Keelan Sloan.
Hard to cut there. 0-1 from Tate. He's 0 for 2 so far. He's flown out to right and he's flown out to short. Runner on first is O'Brien. Going to stay put as that's fouled off into the netting. Just like that, down the count 0-2. Dahl needing to be a brick wall here behind home plate in order to keep it a 1-run game. Up and in, 1-2. Go ask Dad who's batting. Or I'll do it. Runner takes off for second. That pitch just misses the outside corner. As for Dahl, he thought that was strike 3. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2 offering found straight back here out of play. That's to number 20. Runner on second, that is going to be O'Brien after reaching on a drop third strike. Then bring home one run as well, giving them a 1-run lead. Down and out, 3-2. Fires at home, fouled off down the first base line. We'll redo it. Count remains 3-2. Once again, runner on second, 3-2, should be staying put here. Might try and take third, he will. That's going to be fouled off. Count remains 3-2. That's going to be the Tate. Once again, he's 0 for 2. Flying out to Morgan in his last at-bat and flying out to Gilming in his first. Thank you all for tuning in here to the Disco Turkey YouTube channel, here for this postseason play. Every game is going to be brought to you here on YouTube, on site here at Mando Field. As for the Marion Hungry Mother games, chopped right back up the middle. Another play here from Helms. He'll flip it over the first to Miller. In plenty of time, that will retire the side. To the home half of the fifth we go. It's 2-1 in favor of the Stars.
Disco Turkeys, left field, number 48, Northeast.
Coming back here, bottom of the fifth inning. Got 6 more outs here for the Turkeys. Apologies, 9 more outs for the Turkeys in order to try and claw their way back. Issa thought that was downstairs. Home plate umpire rung him up regardless. 0-1. That pitch misses outside. Count evens. 1-1. Noyce is set to lead things off here in the inning. Then we'll go back up to the top of Morgan, Hall, and Palmer. Now 2 balls and a strike. 1-2, that is. Apologies. 1-2 downstairs. Not going to be strike 3. Home plate umpire did not ring him up. Sloan Throws it to Garcia, the third baseman, like it was strike 3. Let's see if we get a makeup call here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A little bit difficult here to see the signs from the catchers. This is grounded right back to Hannah on the mound. He'll underhand flip it over to Newkirk in plenty of time. First out of the inning.
Next up, the shortstop, number 8, Hudson Morgan.
This will take us up to Hudson Morgan, the leadoff man here for the Turkeys. He's 1 for 2, singling up the middle and striking out thus far. First base hit of the night, if I'm not mistaken, second base hit of the night for the Turkeys. Able to put it right back by Hannah. Gilman was the first base hit, and I thought that got a piece of Hannah. Apparently it did not. Upstairs 2-0. Although back in the last half inning, there was a ball that ended up being hit that Holmes is able to make a grab. Appeared to be injured for a little bit, but is able to shake it off and continue firing. As that shot into left field, Gregory able to make the one-handed catch on his knee. 2 up, 2 down. This will take us to Hall. So far, he's 1 for 2 as an RBI single in front of Gregory alongside grounding out to Mendaic. Trying to improve his night as he sits 1 for 2 so far. One of the better stat lines of the night from the Turkeys. The only RBI alongside that. AJ Lewis standing in as the first base coach. That is the pitching coach for the Turkeys. Fouls right back out of play, 0-1. Pitching staff so far for the Turkeys this season looks solid through the starting pitchers. As you've headed into the relievers, it's starting to get a little bit shaky, but the Turkers have been able to hold on and continue to win the games that they've been ahead in. Trailing by 1 here gives the Turkeys a little bit of a challenge here. Once again, we're only playing 7. Catches the inside corner. That looked about a ball and a half off. No balls and 2 strikes here. Down to the last out and possibly down to the last pitch of the inning. Pitch to Hall, catches the inside corner. Home put umpire does not ring it up. That appeared to be more of a strike than the last one. 1-2 the count. Chopped, fouled, in play. Apparently got a piece of the player of Hall. A ball and 2 strikes here. Once again, could be down to the last pitch of the inning. As for Hall, he's trying to get the Turkeys some momentum going into the later half of this inning alongside the last half of game number 1 of the postseason. The 1-2 upstairs, count evens, 2-2. The 2-2 comes in upstairs. Hannah just about falling off the mound. Again, one of the things here about Mando Field is an older field, a lot of weird dimensions, and one of those oddities is how solid the mound is. The landing spot is very soft. Swing and a miss there does not matter here to Hannah as he'll retire the side, leaving them empty. Another 1-2-3 inning. Leading things off for the Turkeys in the next inning, that's going to be Palmer. But as for the other side, that's going to be Tate, McCormick, and Gregory. 2-1 your score going top of the 6th. Coming back here in the top of the 6th inning, it's going to be Jordan Tate. His first at bat, he flown out to Gilming over and right. Apologies here through the last about two and a half innings, as I had skipped over an at bat technically to Sloan, so everybody's been one at bat off through the last inning as well. But we've got everything sorted out. Tate's at the plate, followed by McCormick and Gregory, negating any forms of pinch hitters. First pitch here called a strike. 0-1 to Tate. Fires it in, chopped, foul in the box. Although it goes in foul ground, it hit the player of Tate. So just like that, down the count 0-2. That's why I haven't set the pitcher's name. The 0-2 fires in, swing and a miss. Strikeout number 1, and woo, it appears that injured Tate on the swing. Indeed so. Swinging out of his shoes and apparently swung out of his own hands. First strikeout here in the night from Beck is a loud one at that, and that injured Tate.
McCormick.
This is going to bring up McCormick. One out here in the inning. First pitch here, line. Morgan right there at it. I thought that had eyes over his head. Just trailed right back into the glove of Morgan. And that little bit of right to left action. A little bit of a fade in golf terms.
Next up, left fielder, number 11, Greg Gregory.
Two up, two down here in the 6th. Oh no. This will bring up Gregory. Grounded out the first in his first at bat. First pitch here from Beck, up and out. 1-0 to the left-handed hitter. A little bit of a different view here than being over at the couch. A lot closer to the action. Although we got the fence, which makes it a lot harder to see as well. Alongside that, the sun goes down over and right instead of behind the left field stands. Pitch misses downstairs, 2-1. While the sun's out here at Mando, it appears to be more of a pitcher's friendly ballpark, as the batters are not only having to face the pitcher as well, but also the sunlight over and right. As the sun starts to set, it starts to turn into more of a hitter's friendly ballpark. Very small dimensions, ball tends to fly here, which we've already seen once tonight, that being a home run by, I believe, Gregory after the mishap. 2 balls, 2 strikes here with an out to Gregory. Two outs, that is. Apologies. The strikeout to Tate and the line out to McCormick. The 2-2, just missing the inside corner. Hall, Palmer, and Gilming all thought that was strike 3. I mean, the second baseman, center, and right fielders. Turkey's coming into the bottom half of the 6th. That will leave them with 6 outs in order to try and get 1 run. Right down the heart of the plate, catches them down looking. To the bottom of the 6th we go. As for the Turkeys, it's going to be Palmer, Miller, and Dahl. Coming back here, bottom half of the 6th inning. Dad, if you're listening, can you change the top to bottom? Popped up right field side in between the right and center fielders. McCormick's able to make the grab, first out of the inning. That was a flyout from Palmer to McCormick. 1 up, 1 down here in the 6th, and this takes the Turkeys down to the last 5 outs.
Number 6, Gage Miller.
This is going to bring up Miller. He was the leadoff man 2 innings so far, nearly the leadoff man here in this inning as well. He's grounded out to short and walks out for tonight, and this is another chance here. Hartley at short. Fields it cleanly, fires it over the Newkirk in plenty of time. 2 up, 2 down here in the 6th. The Carolina Disco Turkeys. Every game's on YouTube.
Dakota Dahl.
YouTube. That ground out to short will bring up Dakota Dahl. So far tonight, he's 1 for 2, singling into left and striking out thus far. Down to the final 4 outs here for the Turkeys in order to try and get at least 1 run, as the Stars will have the top of the 7th in order for them to add any sort of insurance frames to themselves as well. 1-0 here, the count. Popped up Newkirk, thought of giving a look. Instead, he'll go back to the first base bag as that gets out of play. And 1-1 the count now. Dahl needing to find a way to keep this inning alive and get some 2-out magic going. Passing the baton down to Welch. Downstairs, was he able to hold his swing? I believe he was. Checking the infield umpire, agreeing with my statement. 2-1. 2-1's your score. Stars with a 2-run inning. Back 2 innings ago, that would have been the 5th inning, that is. Apologies. The 2-1 here is grounded over the short. Hartley fields it cleanly to his right, fires it over the Newkirk in time. Another 1, 2, 3 inning. To the top of the 7th we go. It's 2-1 in favor of the Stars as they have their last chance to add any forms of insurance. coming back here, apologies, top half of the 6th inning. Top of the 7th, that is. Stars looking at any form of insurance they can. Downstairs 2-0 from number 3, that's going to be Beck, the second pitcher here for the Turkeys. Beck looking for a quick inning here while the Turkeys are trying to get some momentum going back here. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Turkeys so far 4 hits on the night. They've given up 2 errors, and that's what's come back to hurt them thus far. Foul tip straight back into the fencing. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner, apologies, third baseman Horn, Morgan, Hall, Miller's your infield. Outfield Norisa, Palmer, and Gilming. As how it will stand. Swing and a miss there. Nearly drops the bat, but a strikeout nonetheless as hell. The top of the 7th will come to a start. That was Newkirk leading things off. Coming up now is going to be the 8-hole of Garcia, followed by Mendaic. So far he's 0 for 2, striking out and grounding out to Hall at second. A little bit of a timeout here. Batter issue, that's Garcia. Appears to have something in his left eye. As for Beck, he stands on the mound just waiting. No mercy here against Garcia. Beck still on the mound, ready to fire in the first pitch. Gonna be a tough play here from Horn over the first. Gets away from Miller. Garcia will remain over at first. Apologies here about the scoreboard going out. Not too sure exactly what happened there. Gonna try and get it fixed. 2-1's your score. My scoreboard went off. Yeah.
Second baseman, number 28, Pearson Mendiak.
Mendiak's first pitch misses downstairs.
There's something on this one, maybe?
Apologies here. Not sure exactly what happened with the scoreboard.
Something on here.
There we go. Got it all fixed. 2 balls and a strike here. Apologies. No balls and 2 strikes here. You accidentally pressed off on the score bug. Then turned the whole thing off. No balls, 2 strikes here to Garcia. Second batter of the inning, first one struck out swinging. That was Newkirk. Garcia trying to fall in the same boat. As Beck fires in the 1-2. Thrown into second is a tag in time. It's not, just a tad late from Dahl to Hall. How did Garcia reach? And how's there a runner on base?
He beat out.
Oh, yeah.
So high chop ball to hold.
And okay. Pitch downstairs, 2-1 after the stolen base. Apologies, that was that Garcia that ended up stealing second. Mendaic at the plate. So far, he's 0 for 2. He's grounded out to third. chopped over the short. Morgan has plenty of time. Easy throw over the Miller. That will do it. To the bottom of the 7th we go. 2-1's your score. It's going to take one and a miracle here to beat the Stars. Down to the last chance here for the Turkeys in game 1 of the postseason. A round robin tournament, so if you lose, you're not done. There's still going to be 2 more games. Once against the Marion Hungry Mothers and once against the Ori Wampus Cats. But needing to win here in order to get some bragging rights. Down the count 0-1 to Welch. Man on the mound, hand has looked solid so far throughout all. Foul tip straight back. Got a piece of the home plate umpire. Second time that's happened here tonight. And just like that, 0-2. Bullpen is warming up in case it's needed here for the Stars. As for them, they hope Hannah's able to go all 7. Batter timeout here. Welch will step out of the box. That's the DH here tonight. One of the better batters we have for the Turkeys, but unfortunately tonight he's over 2, flying out to McCormick and right and striking out so far the night. Curveball down the heart of the plate, sits him down looking. Another strikeout here from Hannah. First out of the inning. One of the things not needed is a strikeout. Unfortunately, that's how the inning comes to a start, and this will bring up Horn, who's 0 for 2, striking out and reaching on a fielder's choice. And that wasn't a fielder's choice. That would have brought home 1. Had runners 2nd and 3rd. Nobody out. Ended up stranding both of them. A ball and no strikes here to the second batter of the inning. That's Horn. Gillaming and Nor Issa set to come up next. Chop the third. Garcia's going to have to hurry on the backhand. Called foul. Would have been a tough play regardless from Garcia. I got lucky that went foul. Well, that single, the Horn could have come back to bite him. Just like that, 1-1 the count. One at home, one at first, one at second, one at third. In the World Series and postseason, I got 5.
The best of best. So it was 1. Just like for fun.
The 1-1 swing and a miss. Tried to put it all in the one swing. Puts him down to his last strike instead. Needing a base runner here would be huge for the Turkeys, though not impossible. Once again, it would be a massive help. Count evens 2-2. The 2-2 here, swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts here from Hannah. Will take us down to the last possible out here, and that's going to be Gilming, the 8-hole.
Next up, second baseman.
Gilming so far singled in the center, and then he grounded out to short. Down to the last chance here in game 1 of the playoffs. First pitch misses inside, ball 1 to Hannah.
Do you ever cut? You have eyes looking where the cut your hands at.
The 1-0 here misses down and in. 2 balls, no strikes here. 2 outs to the 8-hole of Gilming. 1 for 2 so far, trying to improve his night. 2 for 3. It looks like the bullpen's ready. Chopped up the middle, throwing his glove at it's Hannah. In plenty of time, but that just about was a form of interference, and I think that game, indeed so, will do it. A 3 up, 3 down, 7th will close this one off. Final score 2-1 in favor of the Catawba Valley Stars. Next game will be back here on Friday night. There's going to be all 4 teams back up once again, so 2 games apiece, 2:30 and 6:30 on both Friday and Saturday night. Once again, the game with the Marion Hungry Mothers will be live here on YouTube, but will not have play-by-play. Finals once again, Stars 2, Disco Turkeys 1, and Game 1 of the playoffs.